All right, so some of you with older cars that don't have tachometers and stuff like that, some of the older town car guys, things of this nature, I have been wanting to show you this, but I wanted to use it. You guys can see previously I had mentioned it, I don't know, about 2 months ago. They call it a HUD, a heads-up display. You can get this unit, I think it's between like 35 and 40 bucks for this HUD. And plugs into the Obd port down here, and then you can set it up however you want. Some of the older town cars and stuff, they don't have tachometers in them. What is it, like 04 and above had it, or 06 and above, or something like that? Anyhow, it gives you your startup voltage. It just showed 11.3 volts. You have your layout here, but then you can go to your heads-up display and you can set this heads-up display how you want it. It has direction, oil temp, engine coolant temp. It's got the volts. You've got an RPM gauge on the outside, and you've got a mile per hour gauge on the inside. And then you can go through this. Let me see if I close the windows, if it'll get darker so you can see it better. Or maybe if I turn it. You can't see it so good here. Anyway, you can go through it and you can change the different gauge faces. It's got all kinds of different options where you can take stuff away and add it to it. It'll give you your 0 to 60 time. It'll do all kinds of stuff. It'll do it in yards. And then here, you can pull DTCs, you can clear DTCs. You can go through all of your PIDs and stuff, and you can see, well, not all of them, the majority of your live data PIDs, you can do all that through here. See, if I wanted to change that, this one right here, I could change it to whatever I wanted. Fuel, map sensor, oil temp, air fuel ratio, it's just cold started, TCP, intake air temp, distance traveled, voltage, GPS, ASL, direction. I like oil temp, ECT, battery voltage, direction I'm going, and then I like this gauge, or I can change this gauge face to a different gauge. I'll leave it on that one. And then, so this button here changes your bottom reading right here where it says ECT. This button here on the outside changes your top reading. Oil temp. And then this button here in the middle is what changes, takes you to the selection of your menu where you can set your time and do all that stuff. So I felt like I'd do a review on that real quick, and it's got a couple mounts. It's got a suction mount, or it's got a like a 3M style double-sided tape mount. I chose that because the suction mount I didn't really care for how it was sliding and clipping into it. But I like this. I like having this here so I can monitor ECT and OIT voltage and stuff like that. And then every time I start it up, it'll give me a feed of what the battery voltage is on startup. Then I can see whether or not my starting system and my battery is actually holding up, not dropping below 10.5 volts on startup. It's always like 11.3, 11.4, 11.5 on startup, so I know my starting system is operating really good. And I love that initial startup voltage. Right when you're starting, it gives you current while starting voltage, 11.3, 11.4, 11.5 volts. That is a perfect reading on startup. It means you have a healthy starting system. Anything below 10.5 volts, I'd start to be concerned. That's not really that great. Either you got a weak battery or starter's drawing too much. Anyhow, that is the basic rundown on this heads-up display. I figured I'd share with you guys. You can change the color of the LED bar and stuff like that on the bottom, but that is that in a nutshell. Y'all be blessed. I'm going to leave the link below. I think you'll end up being able to pick this thing up for like $30 to $40. And I just love it. I love the reading. I love the quick. I can go into it quick. And if I need to see a reading or something real quick, instead of grabbing a scan tool, it's already hooked up. Y'all take care. Be blessed.